morale.
Must
They
win, Jimmy.
must win, and he says that his calf is much better. So this is going to be a lot of fun. That's why we asked radio analyst for the Cincinnati Bengals and longtime lineman, offensive lineman for the Bengals, Dave Lapham, to join us. Dave, welcome. It's Jimmy B and Manuch. And let us start first with what Joe Burrow just spoke about. He has referenced in those media gatherings that his calf is much better. Is he just spitting out media, or is he telling the truth? Do you know?
Well, Jimmy B and Manuch, thanks for the opportunity to visit. I think it's one of those deals where it's over time, it's going to get better on a daily basis as long as he doesn't jazz it up again, as long as he doesn't have a setback. And he's had no setbacks. So it's improving on a daily basis. Now, can he do the explosive, short space, quick twitch movements to manipulate the pocket or get out of pocket? Because that's the problem. Yeah. He's a statue. And defenses know he's a statue. And defensive linemen, they're keying off to one spot. They're not worried about staying in rush lanes because they know he won't try to avoid and get outside the defensive ends. They're crowding the middle of the pocket with blitzes and defensive linemen. It's very, very difficult for the offensive line to pass protect in that regard. They are very diminished offensively because of the medical limitations of Joe Burrow's calf.
Yeah, quite frankly, and David Manuch, always great to catch up with you. And that's what I mentioned earlier to Jimmy and these guys. I said, look, you'll see when you watch the Monday night game, I guess against the Rams, he was a statue back there. He was limited. His throws were high. They were low. You could tell he just couldn't push off that right leg where that calf is or even move back. And to your point, Dave, part of his game is the waggle, the rollout, the bootleg, getting a occasional first down here and there. You could tell he was limited. So I guess we think we'll find out early on in this game with his movement, not so much his dropbacks, if his game back as far as escapability is going to be back. Well, we know if that calf is completely healed.
Yeah, I mean, it's you take it for granted until he can't do it.
Yes.
He's not like Lamar Jackson. He's not that kind of guy. But, like, for example, what you get going, Dobbs, I mean, this guy, he's extending and creating plays. They have, plays to him in the quarterback run game too as well. But, I mean, on third down and in the red zone over the few years that Joe Burrow's been here, he has made many, many plays by extending and creating the play and converting on third down, converting touchdowns in the red zone. He'd either manipulate and climb the pocket or get out of the pocket, on a creative basis on his own, or like you said, design waggles, bootlegs, nakeds, that kind of thing. Last week down in Tennessee, the Bengals started putting pressure on Tannehill in the pocket. They changed the launch point. They got him out of pocket with that type of thing. With Joe Burrow, when he's getting pressure in the pocket, they have to eat it. There's nothing they can do. He just can't get out of pocket. He can't, his movement is just not there right now. Hopefully, for the Bengals' sake, it'll be better. And find out, I guess.
Dave, it's interesting because you still got dudes on this offense. You got Mixon and Chase and T. Higgins and the guy. I mean, you got guys. You got the same offense. It just seems as though it's become antiquated because of a calf injury. I don't know. It just seems like there could be more explosiveness because everybody else is still there.
Yeah, but it just shows you the importance of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen will tell you, geez, I missed a block and Joe made up for it with his ability to escapability. He just made a quick move and, climbed the pocket and my mistake wasn't even noticed, because Joe made good on it. And I think quarterback position is the most important position in all of sports. There's no two ways about it. And when your quarterback is having difficulty delivering the ball, like you guys said, and I agree. I mean, he's been high, he's been wide. Mm-hmm. I mean, he prides himself on his accuracy, and his accuracy is usually unbelievable. Yeah. But it hasn't been the case this year. And I mean, it's come to a grinding halt offensively. There's no doubt about it. And Joe Burrow himself. I mean, this is mind-boggling to me. He's the first quarterback in NFL history with 150 attempts in his first 4 games. It's averaged less than 5 yards per attempt.
Wow.
He's averaging 4.82 yards per attempt. I mean, that is like half what he normally averages, and it just goes to show you how diminished he is.
Wow, that's a great stat. Thank you, Dave. Now, let me drop to the other side of the football because you're going to play against a Cardinal team. No Kyler Murray at quarterback. It is Joshua Dobbs, who has gotten better every week, although it doesn't show up so much in the win-loss column, but he has gotten better every week. They have a solid running back in James Conner. How does the Bengals defense then set themselves up against the Cardinals offense?
Well, that's the key, is to stop that, control that running game. You know, Connor's tied for third in the NFL, 318 rushing yards. And as an offense, they're sixth in the NFL, running for 143.5 and efficient, averaging 5.3 per rush. He's at 5.1. And as a result of that, Dobbs is enjoying play action success. So I think the key to this football game for the Bengals to handle what Dobbs is doing is you got to have to control that running game. You can't let the Arizona Cardinals run wild on you. And to be honest with you, Bengals defense has struggled in that regard. Against Cleveland, they gave up 206 yards in the game, 5.2 per carry.
3.
Baltimore the next week, 178 yards, 4.8 per carry. Last week against Tennessee, 173 yards, 5.2 per carry. So guess what Arizona's going to try to do?
Yeah, that's coming downhill at you as well, too. Dave, just interesting. You know, here you guys, you lost the Super Bowl a couple years ago to the Rams. You're a personal foul away from maybe winning that AFC Championship game last year. How is this team handling? Because that window, as you know, Dave, in the National Football League nowadays with contracts is a very short window. If this team can't get off to Schneid, is that championship-type Cincinnati Bengals team, is that window closing on them?
No, I think it's just because of Joe's injury, honestly. I mean, he's a shell of himself. I mean, the last 2 years, he performed at an incredible level.
2.
And the sad thing is, he was in the best shape of his life. I mean, he worked his tail off in the off season, and he reported to camp looking unbelievably fit, stronger, throwing the ball with more velocity and even better accuracy. And the football god said, "We're going to screw you with the calf injury." and calf injuries, these things are dicey, man. They're tricky.
Yeah.
I've talked to people that have had them, and it's going to last the whole season. I mean, at some point in time, it's going to feel good. He's going to try to burst, out of the pocket or whatever, and he's going to, re-aggravate it. He's going to tweak it. That's the thing. It's not something that goes away and stays away. It's something that you have to continue to work on and rehab the entire season. Hope that you don't have relapses. And I mean, really,
1.
It's interesting. The Bengals went 12-4 last year. The game against Buffalo was canceled because of the unfortunate injury to Hamlin.
Right.
But now they start 1-3, and everybody's like, "Boy, the sky has fallen." Arizona, they go 4-13, and they start 1-3, and man, everything's looking rosy. It's incredible how it's such a different dynamic. But I will say, watching the Arizona Cardinals on tape, man, they are playing with some energy, enthusiasm, paying attention to detail. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. I mean, they're fun to watch on tape. They're responding to this new coaching staff for sure.
Dave, you being a former lineman, you guys wake up sweating, right? So we are cooling down for kickoff on Sunday. It'll be a cool, chilly sweater weather for Phoenix, Arizona, 92 degrees at kickoff, just so you know. So it's going to be, dress appropriately. Bring an extra sweater.
Be cold. Don't you think the roof will be closed?
Oh, you'll be 72 inside, Big D. You'll be fine.
I love it. I heard it's 104 there today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like I said, it's cooling down a little bit. It's getting chilly. Hey, we had 150 for like 5 straight months. You kidding me?
I mean, man, I'll tell you what, you guys are roasting marshmallows without a fire. Crazy.
He is one of the best offensive linemen to ever play for the Cincinnati Bengals, and now he is working on their radio network as the Bengals radio analyst. Dave Lapham, thank you so much, pal. Have a good call on Sunday.
Gents, I appreciate the opportunity to visit.
There you go. Dave Lapham on the Right Toyota guest line. Hey, can you use an extra $5,000? Why not? How about a $50 Twin Peaks fan card. You can buy your friends a couple of cold ones. All you have to do is just play the annual Twin Peaks fan